it's Cheryl, and today we are going to do a total body workout. All you need is your body weight. If you want to add some bands or hand weights, you can, but I'm trying to make this easy peasy for everybody who wants to work out but has excuses that they don't have equipment, they don't know what to do, they don't have the time. So here's your workout, and you can make it your own. You could extend it by adding more repetitions or rounds, and you can make it shorter by not doing as many rounds, okay? So we're gonna start off first. We're just gonna march out. This is always like a home base. So if we do any cardio, or if you're out there in the world doing any cardio and you feel that it's too high impact for you, you are going to march in place. Now, this marching in place may seem very easy for some, and that's fair to say. You could make anything a little bit more challenging by expanding your range of motion and activating more muscle groups that are getting involved. So if you would like, you can lift your legs up higher, around hip distance, I'm sorry. If you feel stress in your back, you're gonna lean back slightly, pull the belly button back in, pretend you're trying to trap a marble here. And now you're not only working on your cardio, but you're working on your core. You want to make this a little bit more challenging still. You lift your arms up and down while you pull your legs. This lifting of the arms that adds 20% more perceived exertion for your body. So you're increasing the intensity without having to increase the impact. These are all ways that you could modify high impact moves. Now we're just going to go tap it side to side. So you're tapping and you're adding a little bit of the arm to engage the tricep. Keep it nice and open along the chest area. Shoulder blades are squeezing slightly back. Shoulders are away from the ears. We're going to change this up to a side step. So step side to side. Again, shoulders retracted, roll them down, slide them back so that you're not round-shouldered. Anytime your arms are starting to move, you're adding more perceived exertion. You could really add more to the aerobic capacity by having the arms way overhead, pull down, create that resistance here in the lats. Maybe I'll go side to the back so you see squeeze. All these muscles, these back muscles are engaged. To make this even more challenging, or to raise the heart rate up more, you're going to stay still first, down and up. You're in a squat. You're lifting the body weight. So the irony is, the more you weigh, the more challenging the move, the more you'll raise your heart rate. You do this move by starting from the hips, leaning back, pressing through the heels, lifting up, getting long and open in the chest area, and then try not to arch that back. Draw the belly button in, keep that core activated, press through the heels when you lift up. You could add the arms. Again, just raising that heart rate. You could add a heel lift. So now you're activating the calves and the soleus, the Achilles, and from here you can now go side to side. So squat, side to side. This lateral movement, changing this plane of movement from going this way, which we always go every day, sagittal, to now horizontal, is going to get the inner and the outer thighs. You're pressing into the heels when you lift up. You're keeping the chest nice and open. You're not arching or collapsing into that back. And when you'd like to add a little bit more cardio component, raising the heart rate, you're adding those arms. This can all be changed as well to get a little bit more of the hamstrings by doing a hamstring curl. So squat and lift, squat and lift. You're squeezing those shoulder blades back. Elbows are in line with the shoulders. Want to make the heart rate go up a little bit more. Arms way up overhead. You're going down and up, you're changing, cutting through those planes, lifting and lowering that body weight. All of this will help increase your aerobic capacity, warming the muscles up, adding more intensity, but not adding more impact. All right, so we're gonna go back to that march. Hopefully your heart rate's up a little bit. This is all warm up, and my need to speak made you not even realize. All right, so now we're gonna do heel digs to the front. This is always an option if people are doing taps and you don't want to bring it up to the next level. If you want to bring it up to the next level, it's a little hop. Now you can always bring this up to another level and go a little side to side. Think a pony, like if you were dancing. And the next level would be laterally, both legs. Little hop, side to side. I like to move through all the different planes. We're going to do this 4 more times, and then we're going to go back to that march. Now, remember, a march can always go back to the knees. If you want more intensity, you could bring it up into a jog if you want even more, or you could even pretend to jump rope. So I'm just throwing out all these different levels for you so you understand how to modify or up level. We're going to go back to that march. Remember I said I wanted to change plane. So sagittal plane moves forward, horizontal moves sideways, transverse moves diagonally. So here we go for the transverse. You're going on the diagonal. Now, you could have your arms here if you have shoulder issues. You could keep them even lower if you have shoulder issues. You could bring them higher if you'd want that cardio component to be raised. So all different levels. Now, if your back is okay, you could go back to this kind of jog or this kind of hop thing, and now you're going into these skiers. And when I'm saying if your back is okay, you could add a twist. So you're working in that transverse plane, arms overhead, heart rate is raised higher. Not that much of an impact, you're barely getting off the ground, but it is impact nonetheless. Bring it back to your march. I'm looking at where we are for the time, just to see how long we've been doing this warm up, and hopefully your heart rate is up. All right, bring it back out wide. So we're going to go wide, we're going to work on the hips, we're going to work on the lateral, and we're going to go down in a squat. This is a squat position that sometimes feels better for people if they have knee issues. Arms could be anywhere you want them to be. Whatever you do, you're starting that movement by pushing the hips backwards, not arching the back, getting long on that collarbone, breathing in through the nose and the mouth. Some people prefer toes and knees out when they do a squat. And this protects their knees. But if you have, it depends on your makeup, your anatomy, your hip girdle. I tend to, when I do this, it's hard. A lot of women, especially, their knees end up going this way. And if your knees are going this way, but your toes are going that way, it is a recipe for disaster. Your knees and toes have to go in the same direction. So for me, when I do my squats, hip distance are a little bit wider, I feel much better when my knees are facing forward. But you have to be very mindful that your knees don't go and track past your toes. You have to start the movement by sitting those hips backwards, reaching for that invisible chair. We're going to go wide now with the toes and knees out. And now with the toes and knees out, and you go down and up, you're going to pretend to squeeze those legs in towards the center. They're not going to happen. Hopefully they're stuck to the ground. But this resistance that you are creating is going to get that inner thigh. And if you would like to add the arms in, once again, you're going to raise your heart rate up. And if you really pull down and you create that resistance, not only is your heart rate going to go up, but you are going to be working on these muscles right here, the latissimus dorsi muscles. You can lift one heel and then lift the other. If you have good balance, you can lift both, but we're just kind of warming up with all your options so that later on, you know, when I quickly go through modifiers, you're going to know where you want to land. All right, one more with the other leg, and now bring them in together. Beautiful. March it out. Again, this is your home base. Anytime something becomes a little bit more challenging to you, you come back to this home place. All right, so we're going to start off. We've got 1 minute. You're going to march or you're going to pull the knees up. So let's start. 1 minute. Now, marching does not have to mean this. You want to get full range of motion. You're driving those elbows back. Think every time the elbow drives back, pull the abs back with you. If you're saying like, listen, I really do want a little bit more going on here, jog it. So you want a little bit more with the jog. You can bring your arms up to get that heart rate going up. You can even do high knees if you want high impact. Again, for me, if I have lower back issues, I lean back slightly when I do my high knees, and I only bring them up to hip level so I don't put too much stress on my back. So you've got all these levels. We've got like 15 seconds left. Pick which one works for you. You can even kick your butt and get a little bit more hamstring activation. And we're done in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing it down, roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to go into squats. So your heart rate may be up. You may need to have your hands by your hips. If you're okay, you can bring your hands back by your temples, by the front of your ears. Again, you're shifting the weight backwards. You're pressing through the heel when you lift up. You're exhaling when you lift. You're keeping it nice and wide on the collarbone, and you're not collapsing in that lower back. Really focus on the abs here, and that your knees are not passing your toes. Exhale when you lift. Inhale when you lower. Exhale when you lift. Inhale when you lower. Pressing through, pressing through. Now, anybody that wants to add a little bit more oomph, you could have booty bands here. You could have dumbbells to the side. You could put dumbbells at your shoulders. That's why I'm saying this workout could be tailor-made for you. I'm giving you the tools and the guidance. You make it your own. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go back to cardio, even though that was cardio. So, quarter jacks. Here's your option if you don't like regular jacks. You could also bring it forward if you want. You could add a little hop if you'd like, or you could do a jack. When you do this jack, you're keeping the belly button back towards the spine. I'm going to keep our time here. You're landing the heels nice and softly. It's a minute, so you could go back and forth between quarter jacks to the side, quarter jacks to the front. You could march with jack arms up and down. You could jog with jack arms. Keep going arms up and down. Bunch of options for you. Keep the belly button back towards the spine. Chest is nice and lifted. Land softly if you are adding a little bit of that impact with the jack in there. You've got 15 seconds. Make sure to breathe. Shoulders away from the ears. Keep the form positive and strong. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to do that side to side squat. So squat side to side. Now again, you could have your hands at your hips. You could have your hands up here, making sure the belly button is to the spine, wide, no arch in the back. You can bring your arms out shoulder level, work on a posture move, but be mindful that you do not arch that back. You can bring the arms down, but now you have to be mindful that you are initiating the move by sitting the hips back and not initiating the move by bringing the knees forward. So if none of that's working and you're breaking your form, put your hands here or put your hands here. Just making sure that you protect that body part, meaning your knees and your back. Don't compromise there. All right, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to march. Remember, this is your home place. All right, we're gonna do forward kicks, or heel digs, I'm sorry, or heel digs, or jump rope. You could also kind of ski with this jump rope, but we'll get to that later. So just moving your arms adds a little bit of movement for that rotator cuff, adds a little bit of resistance for the biceps, the forearms, roll the shoulders back, keep the chest nice and lifted, picking your level. If you want to make it harder, I'm not saying harder, I'm sorry, more cardio driven, raising up that cardio, arms come up, you can even keep them up the whole time. So again, tons of options. And if none of them work for you, just leave me a line, ask me a question, I'll give you something that works for you. All right, keep going. Make sure to breathe. Got those heel digs, whatever you're choosing. Got the arms, whatever you're choosing. Got the breath. Can't choose that, you have to do it. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna go into lunges. I didn't mention that in the warm-up. Right leg out in front, left leg out is back. You're keeping the hips, the legs hip distance, not lining them up like a balance beam, but you're keeping them out like railroad tracks. Knee is right over the ankle, heel is raised at the back leg, rolling back and down. Now, you could hold on to a chair or a counter or a bar if you need to, or you can work on your balance, or if you have not done enough cardio, remember, add the arms, squeeze those lats, bring them down and up, or you can bring them out in front and squeeze, or you could just keep your arms here, pressing through that heel, tailbone is tucked under, belly button is the spine. You could even just keep your arms up like this, but make sure your shoulders aren't by the ears, they're retracted down. You're pressing through the heel here, you got a pelvic tilt to protect that lower back, you're lifting through the crown like you're trying to go to this next level, and you're not hunching forward. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna switch sides. Making sure the legs are far enough, hip distance, knee over heel, roll the shoulders back and down and up. So again, now I should have mentioned this before, you could rewind this. If lunges are not in your practice at all, you're worried about your knees, you always go back to squats. Squats are where you're at. Remember, arm position, tailbone is tucked down, so the tailbone is heavy towards the earth, slight pelvic tilt to protect the lower back, knee is over the heel, you're pressing through the heel, chest is lifted, arm positions where they are comfortable for you to challenge you and either up level or modify. You're deciding what you'd like to do here. Make sure you exhale when you press off that heel and you lift up. Make sure to keep those shoulders retracted, meaning away from the ears. Make sure to keep the belly button back to keep that core activated. Press through the heel. Exhale when you lift. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. March it out. We're going back to cardio. So, step side to side. we're going into lateral. We've done a lot in this plane. So we're going into lateral. All those jumping jacks were lateral. 2, 2, 2. Here's your modifier. Toes and knees are facing forward. Chest is nice and lifted. Tailbone is heavy. Belly button is to the spine. You want to bring it up maybe. Add that little skip. So we're not doing a lot of high impact with this right now. We could add the high impact later. We're going to do this for 1 minute, even though the warm-up was quite a bit of me showing you the different levels. But that's okay. Your body has muscle memory. So maybe your body has already been used to doing everything for a minute. And now I'm going to throw it off slightly by making this particular segment a little bit longer. Who knows? Life changes up quickly. You can prepare and prepare and prepare, but you better be comfortable in learning how to pivot and accept change, and that way mentally you'll be able to handle whatever's thrown at you. All right, keep breathing. You've got like 20 seconds. When the arms lift up, the shoulders are away from the ears. That's a must. You want to protect your neck. You don't want to be tensed up here. You want them down. You want to try to push your shoulders backwards so they're not rounding. Think of all these cues. You won't think of them on your own. That's why I'm here to tell you. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Now, we're going to go back to those squats, but we're going to add a leg lift. So, squat, lift, squat, lift. You're pressing through the leg that's on the floor. Adding the hand position wherever you feel comfortable. Press through the heel when you lift up. Exhale when you lift up. Add the arms if you want to add more aerobic challenge. Pull so your back is working. Pull so you're creating that resistance in your arms. If you add the arms and you forget to start the movement by starting with the hips reaching backwards, and you add those arms and you start the movement by the knees going forward, then ditch the arms. If they are going to cause restrictive motion that you need to utilize to keep safe and protect your body. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, you're marching, or you're jogging, or you're heel tapping. So, heel tap, that's your option 1. You could press up, that's your option 2. You could add a little hop, raising the roof, or you could swing the arms, or you could go right into cross-country ski. So another option, if you're tired of doing the heels forward, you can do quick taps backwards. But don't arch the back whenever you do this. Keep that core activation. And if your arms get tired, you know, here, you could bend at the elbows, shorten the levers, drive those elbows backwards, and go here. So a lot of options. Sometimes here just makes you start to round shoulder. You don't want to do that. So you could really get a lot of power by thinking, drive the elbow back, drive it back, push it back, as opposed to bringing the hands forward. Think about driving the elbow back, pulling the belly button in, keeping the chest lifted, keeping the core engaged. Pick what level you want with your feet, and let's go. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time, instead of marching in place as home, we're stepping side to side. Because we did this cardio motion this way, the recovery is now going here. You could add the arms for a lateral raise. By the way, I should have said this at the top of the thing. I can't put music on. It would cost me millions in royalty fees. Feel free to play whatever music that you would like to play. All right, strength, out and out. You could have the toe turned slightly to the floor, which is going to get a little bit more of this abductor, the outer thigh. If you want to add a squat into the mix, you can. Toe is going down towards the floor or straight on with flexed foot. So you're picking which one works for you. You could kind of alternate, toe down, flex foot. You could bring the arms back. Let's bring it back this way. If you're choosing to add the arms, I would say bring them at shoulder level. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, palms face down, shoulders away from the ears. So let's start working on those rear deltoids. It's a posture move. You're sitting on your phone, you're driving in your car, you're sitting in a chair. A lot of the times, you're looking at your phone all the time. You tend to go like this, shoulders round. So to counterbalance that, you want to, and these muscles start lengthening, and these muscles start shortening, and then you feed into that round shoulder. So to counterbalance, you need to strengthen those muscles behind the shoulders, those rear deltoids, so then they start to shorten and contract and pull the shoulders backwards, and then you don't have that round shoulder. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you can march it out for your recovery as we go into the next move. So the next move is going to be a triple step. We're going to go laterally again. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, you could stay forward. You could add a little hop. Or you could add that lateral movement, and this is called a Heisman Move. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you've got, I'm starting on the minute now. The other part was warm up and explanation. And bonus, it was a little cardio. You were moving the whole time. But remember, you could go lateral. You could do straight on. You could just do an easy march without that little oomph of hop. You don't need this hop and this freeze moment. It's going to work on the balance. It's going to add a little bit more oomph to the move. But you could stay here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, a lot to think about. I wish we were live, that you could be like, Cheryl, I forgot what the other options are. But we're not live, but you can tape this, stop it, rewind it, think about what I said. So where are we at? We're at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to do a little active recovery here. Isometrics on the legs. Actually, changed my mind. A woman's prerogative to change her mind. We're going back into strength. And this particular strength movement is going to be on the triceps. So you're going to march in place while your chest is lifted and your elbows stay back, and you're squeeze and in, squeeze and in, squeeze and in, squeeze and in. Now, if your heart rate has come down and you want to add a little bit more, it's reverse lunge, reverse lunge. You're reversing, you're stepping very far backwards so that your knee doesn't go past your toe. You're pressing through the heel when you lift up. Your chest is lifted. You need, really, really need to keep those elbows up as high as they can go. And you're stopping your wrists at your hips. You're not coming here. You're not swinging here. This is not going to keep that resistance on the triceps and the rear deltoids. Try not to round. Try to lift them up, slide them back. Be proud. Open up through that chest. Breathe, breathe, breathe for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm looking that the sun is behind me, so you probably just see me in a shadow. Unfortunately, 2 and 1. All right, back to your home base, whether it's a march, whether it's a jog, whether it's a jump rope. And we're gonna go side to side again. So, side. This time I want you to travel and have as much space as you can. Now, you could add that squat, lifting and lowering the body weight so that your heart rate is raised. You could add the arms, lifting and lowering. You could add the leg, lifting and lowering. More arms, lifting and lowering. Or you could add a little bit of propulsion, trying to get distance. So it's not here. You're trying to get as much distance. You don't have to go for speed. And if you'd like, you could tap down. So now I'm starting the minute now. You could tap, you could not tap, you could stay here. You could go a little quicker. You could tap, you could alternating, tap and not tap. Flat back if you're doing this. Belly button to the spine if you're doing this. Picking your level. Did you forget the other level? The other level was down and up or down and up. So lots of levels, lots of things to choose from. We're under 30 seconds now. Picking what works for your body. Drive the elbow back. If you're doing this, get some distance. See the difference when you propel yourself side to side as opposed to short and choppy. 8 more seconds. Here, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. March it out. All right. My heart rate was up, so we're going to just do an active recovery by working the core. Legs a little bit wider than hip distance, knees soft, roll the shoulders back and down. Don't do this. And if you want oomph on the legs, you're holding the isometrics. But you're not doing this, you're doing this. Tailbone is heavy to the earth. Belly button is to the spine. Head is lifted to the sky. Make sure to breathe. And this is your active recovery. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little rest for 1 second while I let my dog come out and visit. He wants to visit, so I'm letting him. And now we're bringing it back down to the isometrics. So the legs are out wide, toes and knees are facing in the same direction. If you're feeling too much strain here, bring your toes in facing more slightly, but make sure the knees are in the same direction as the toes. Legs out, he's fine. And lift, and lift, and lift, and lift. Chest is nice and lifted. Belly buttons to the spine. Breathe, breathe, breathe. So you're working on the isometrics of the inner thigh. You're working on the glutes. You're working on the hamstrings. Your heels are being lifted. And breathe. And that was my husband walking off for my dog. not to go down there because we put fertilizer down. So this is life. This is how it rolls. I'm real with you. Maybe you're a business and you have to run out. You can't do the whole workout. Maybe you have kids. You have to stop and get them. Maybe you have dogs. Maybe the phone's ringing. Life gets in the way sometimes. You get in what you can, right? For 4, no pup, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the legs in. Really march it out, right? Legs are a little juicy right now. And we're gonna work a little bit on the balance. This is the active recovery. Shift the weight into the left leg. Bring the right leg around. And now shift, bring the left leg around. So we're working on this active recovery while we work on the balance. Again, if you have bands, this is gonna add a little bit more intensity to this movement. Chest is nice and lifted. If you need to hold on to something, position yourself next to a bench, next to a chair, in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Marching it out. Puck. March it out. All right, we're gonna go back to cardio. So this time the cardio is 2 steps. We're gonna go lateral again. 2 steps, 2 steps. Now you can pick it up if you want, going back lateral, really kind of working the inner and outer thighs. Or you could just shuffle 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, and stop. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Now you can again add that touch if you'd like, keeping the chest open, trying to keep the back flat with the floor, trying not to like round. You don't want to round when you do this. You want to keep everything open. If you look at the screen, that's going to kind of force you. Listen, you could go quicker. You want to go quicker, go quicker. You want to go slower, go slower. You want to do 2 steps, do 2 steps. You don't want to touch, don't touch. I mean, it's your workout, right? Do you. You be you. Honor your body. Think about what's challenging it without hurting it. Think about what's pushing you a little bit more than you would if you were just sitting by yourself. And go for it. And again, minutes at a time. Pick different levels. You're not married to the one level. You can pick and choose. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, recover, march it out. I'm closing my door so that my dog does not come back out. March it out. All right, so biceps are really hard to do if you don't have some type of a weight added in. They're very challenging to do unless you really, really, really focus on creating your own resistance. So what we're gonna do is focus on creating our own resistance. Roll the shoulders back and down. Put your left hand here. Press against. You're creating your own resistance. If your heart rate is up and you feel like your feet have happy feet, like they have to move, that's because you need to get your heart rate lower. So by all means, march in place until you feel comfortable to be in that stillness. It might not happen, and that's fine. Or you might want to keep the heart rate raised as well by marching. So give me 8 more. For 8, 7, remember, you're creating that resistance. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll the shoulders back and down. Arm is out. See what I'm saying? You're not here. You're here. Hand is here for that resistance. And let's go. Squeeze. You're creating that resistance. So you're taking your right arm, you're pressing it against the left. The left is coming back. The bicep is contracting and actively engaging. Your legs are moving. Originally to bring the heart rate down. Now to keep the heart rate up. Make sure, a conscious effort, not to round those shoulders. Keep squeezing. Keep the contraction. Now let's go for 8. for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna go side to side. So remember those taps? All right, we did the taps. Now we're gonna do a side kick. We're bringing up a level, but we're going to add knees first. So now that we've got this recovery a little bit and the chest is open and wide, we're just gonna add the knees. So bring left knee and right knee. Remember what I said at the beginning? You're leaning back slightly. Also remember what I said. It's not this, you know. It's not like this loosey-goosey, like I'm with you. It's, you're reaching the sky, you're pulling down, you're contracting the abdominals, you're contracting the back muscles. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. March it out. We're going to do one left knee to a right tap. So knee and tap. That's your modifier. The knee only needs to come up to the hip level. Use the arms, contract the biceps. You should feel them now because we just did a lot of work on the biceps. Next level, this becomes a side kick. Down, bend, and kick. Bring it, bend, and then kick. So you chamber it first. You bend, then you extend out through the heel. And look, the arms are getting in on the action. You got some tricep work here. Core is tight. Working the shoulders, the core, the hip flexors, the outer thighs, the obliques. Yes, we are. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tap side to side, left and right. And use those arms. Tailbone is heavy. That means it's pointed towards the earth. Shoulders are away from the ears. Make sure to breathe. I probably look like a silhouette now because of the sun. And 4, 3, 2. Alternate the knees. Start with the right leg. Pull. Now, back issues. You lean slightly backwards. You only lift the knees to the hips, but you are really activating the arms. For 4, 3, 2, 1 right knee, 1 left tap. Knee and tap. Remember, this is your modifier. Get full range of motion. I'm looking. My hands are leaving the screen. That's how high they're getting. My core is activated. My triceps are working. My shoulders, my obliques, and bring it to a side kick if you want. Bend and kick. Bend and kick. Hup, kia. Hup, kia. Hup, kia. Nicely done. Keep it nice and open on the chest. Just because you're pulling down doesn't mean your shoulders have to round. You're bending here and then you're kicking out through the heel. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And march it out. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to just say, instead of marching out, because every time you march it out, you're contracting and shortening these muscles. Your recovery here is tap. And instead of going like this, which might round the shoulders, you're going like this. So your recovery is getting those rear deltoids, belly button is to the spine every time the leg pushes back. And here's your active recovery. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to work on the shoulders, rear deltoids. We're going to work on the core as we do this. All right, your knees are soft, your shoulders back and down, flat back. Arms in line with the shoulders. Lead with the elbows. The elbows are in line with the shoulders, so it's not here, it's here, and you're pulling up, and you're pulling and squeezing. Now, shift the weight into the left leg, bring the right leg back, keeping it nice and flat, parallel, not here, here. If you want to work on the balance, we're going to add that leg. Up and down, up and down. Left knee is soft, extend out through the spine, the leg, squeeze, 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 squeeze. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right. We're going to go for the other leg, and we're going to go for longer levers. So, bring it down. Knees are soft. Thumbs face up, palms face in, or this way. So you're going to go right in line with the shoulders, shoulder level, flat back, parallel to the ground. The higher you go, the more they get at the top of the shoulders. We've hit a lot of the tops of the shoulders. Belly button drops back every time the arms lift. And now you could shift the weight to work on the balance, or you could lift the leg up while you're squeezing. Every time the arms come up, you are drawing the belly button back. You're squeezing the shoulder blades back. This standing leg is soft to protect the lower back. You don't want to lock it out. Breathe, 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 meaning exhale when you lift, inhale when you lower. For 8, 7, draw the belly button back, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And march it out. All right. We're going to go back to abs a little bit more before we hit the chest. So we're going to bring it back, isometrics, sit it down, obliques, bring the arms up, elbow to knee, if you can, or elbow to thigh. See if you can keep the elbows, they don't have to touch. See if you can keep them in line with the shoulders. See if you could squeeze the shoulder blades back. See if you could keep the shoulders away from the ears. See if you could lift through the crown of the head, and make sure to breathe. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lift it up. Just to move this humongous bug that is sitting here that I want out of the way. All right, beautiful. So we're gonna bring it down. We're gonna work on the chest a little bit. Bring it down. We got all the body parts, so we're gonna work on the chest. I think what I'm gonna do is move my camera slightly so you get this beautiful view of my grill, but I do believe that because of the sun, this might be a better angle for you to see me with. All right, so before we work on the chest, what I'd like you to do is take your hands, put them here, roll the shoulders back and down, press the palms together, squeeze a lot. Activate all these muscles in the pectorals. Activate them. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So you have this isometric activation on those muscles. Lift the shoulders up, roll them back. There's no reason why those shoulders have to round because you are activating this chest, right? So you don't have to do it like this. You could do it like this. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep in mind what you just did. So you've activated these muscles of the chest. Awesome. Now, you are going to bring your arms out really wide, and the elbows are going to face sideways. So I'll do it this way, although I think I'm going to be slipping because this mat is plastic. But my elbows are out wide, my arms are out wide, my elbows are facing sideways, and I'm in this modified push-up or plank position, meaning I have this nice straight line from my shoulder, my hip to my knee. I'm not collapsing into my shoulders. I'm not lifting up into a table. I am in this modified plank. Now, I'm inhaling when I lower just till my chest and shoulders are aligned with my elbows. And now I'm squeezing my chest like we just did, and I'm exhaling when I lift up. Inhale, lower, squeeze the chest, exhale, lift up. This is not what I'm doing. I'm not going like this. I'm looking forward 10 inches or 8. I'm having my neck and head in line with my spine. Inhale, squeeze the chest, exhale, push away. 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 So that's your option 1 if you're learning push-ups. You're going with a wide hand grip. That's going to activate the muscles of the back, very large muscle group, and the muscles of the pectorals, 2 large muscle groups, helping you push the body weight. Once you've mastered that, you're going to bring your arms in underneath the shoulders. You're still in that plank. But your elbows now are facing your knees. They're not out this way, they're facing your knees, and you're looking here. Inhale, lower, exhale, push away. Inhale, lower, exhale, push away. Inhale, lower, do not collapse. Keep that beautiful line from the hip to the neck to the head. Engage the muscles of the chest and exhale before you push away. Inhale, lower, exhale, push away. One more time. Inhale, lower, exhale, push away. And now, at any point in time, you could do this full push-ups if you can. I'm just trying to show people how to build to the full push-up. Now, we're just going to skip over the full push-up because I want to go to some more abs and stretch. Stretching is so important. So, we're going to go down. We're going to lean backwards. Chest is lifted, not round shoulders. Chest is lifted. We're going to hold on to the legs here. Hinge till you get to that funky spot where you're like, ah! And then you're just going to hang out in that funky spot. Before your hip flexors take over. And it's just your abs. And it's really hard to stay. That's where you're hanging out. Not when the hip flexors take over, when it's all abs. For 10, 9, 8, try not to round the shoulders. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Now I'm looking straight at the sun. All right, we're gonna bring it down. The soles of the feet are together. Butterflying, open the legs. Bringing it down. Hopefully you can see me. Hand behind the head. Fist distance, chin in the chest. And lift up. Up and down. Every time you lift the head up slightly, the belly button is going towards the floor. You have a fist distance between the chin and the chest. You're opening up those hips. Hands are behind by the temples or just lightly behind the ears. Belly button stays down the whole time. It never lifts up. So you're concaving those abs, and when those head and shoulders lift, the abs are staying down. They're going to want to rise up and bulge up, but you're keeping them down. First 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Lift it up. I'm just going to bring it this way because I'm looking right into the sun, which I don't want to do. All right, roll the shoulders back and down. Chest is nice and lifted. Now, here's your option 1. Elbow to knee. Remember, I said there was different planes of motion. So this is going into the transverse plane, working on those obliques. That's your option 1. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Option 2, you're going to do a reverse tabletop. And you're going to lift up. And you're going to bring the hands out to the side or facing forward, whatever works for you. And now you're going to bring the elbow for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now you're going to bring it down. We're just going to alternate a little bit. before we go on to the last final option. So bring it down into that, laying down, knees and toes face forward. Roll the shoulders back, plug the back of the shoulders in, arms out to the side or robot arms, take a deep breath in, lift the hips up. Plug the backs of the shoulders in, belly button is in. You're stretching out the hips as you're engaging the core, as you're engaging the hamstrings, as you're engaging the glutes, and now you're going to lower and lift. Squeeze through, press through the heels. Make sure you're pressing the backs of these shoulders into the floor. Make sure the belly button is staying back down and you're activating the glutes. You're squeezing those glutes when you lift up. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lower one vertebrae at a time. Roll or bring it to the side to get up. So remember your options. Option 1, option 2, tabletop to knee. Option 3, to toe. Whoa. I had to get into the rhythm. All right, for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and lower down. Bring the arms up like goalposts so you can now open up the shoulders and get that stretch in the shoulders. Plug the shoulders back, toes and knees face forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift up. Plugging the shoulders back, lifting up, and now shift the weight into the left leg as you cross the right leg over. Press the shoulders into the ground, ankles below the knee. You could do this just sitting down if you don't want the extra oomph for the core and press away, or you could do it up while you get the extra oomph for the core and the hamstrings, and lower down. Windshield wiper legs side to side, relieve a little bit of the pressure on the back. You can keep your hands in that goalpost position so that you can open up the fronts of the shoulders and the pectorals. One more each side. Bring it back to center. Arms in goalpost position. Elbows are in line with the shoulders. Push the backs of the shoulders into the floor. Take a deep breath in. Lift up. Press the backs of the shoulders into the floor. Belly button into the spine. Core is activated. Lift the left leg up, bending at the knee, putting the ankle right below the right knee. And then press into the shoulders, lift the hips up. And again, not for you. You're down here with the hips grounded, pressing away on that knee. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, one vertebra at a time. Hug the knees into the chest. Lift up, grab your legs on the outer side by the pinky toe side, but the arms are on the inside. The knees are bent. The soles of the feet are to the sky or the floor. If you're inside, your tailbone is going down. So don't round like this. Straighten the back, push the tailbone away from you, roll the shoulders back and down. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to hold on to your toes if you're super flexible. If not, you're going to bring your hands to the calves or the thighs, and you're opening up your legs wide. Roll the shoulders back and down. Press through the heels and push the tailbone through. So now you're getting more of the hamstrings. You're getting the inner thigh. Maybe you want to go here with the inner thigh. It's all good. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your legs together. Bend. You could roll to the side, or you could roll up, whatever works for you. Keep the right leg in, bend the left leg back. So now these are called mermaid legs, or they could be right angle, whatever you'd like to call them. Lean up on this right forearm. Don't collapse. Push this left hip forward, or reach. So it's just a little deeper into that quadricep hip flexor stretch. That's all you're doing. Just a little bit deeper. And then release. Open the arms up. Get into that chest a little bit more, into the front of the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hand around. You're going to shoot it through, thread the needle, lower the elbow, lower the ear, get that twist. Inhale, exhale, push up. That twist is very detoxifying. Switching out the legs. Lean on this left forearm. Again, elbows underneath the shoulder. You're pushing away. You're not collapsing into it. Push the right hip forward or reach behind if you're flexible, you don't have knee issues, you feel okay about this. You're still pushing the hip forward so you feel that nice quadricep flex and the hip flexor stretch. And release. Arm comes out, opening it up, creating that space and that nice stretch all on the collarbone. Inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, lower the shoulder, lower the ear. Inhale. Exhale, lift it up. Bring it to center. Take a deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift it. And exhale, lower. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the workout. If you have any questions, just write them, ask, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the day.